Good morning. I have been a bit silent since the first of the year. I think I did one other live vlog that talked about the 48 hours preceding the last time I took my test, which was the 14th. So, I haven't done a vlog about the results of that test and things that are going on in my life right now. So, I'm going to do that vlog. But I'm not doing it as I normally would do my vlogs, where I sit here and I expound some bit of wisdom that I can impart to you for you to do better in your lives. At the beginning of this year, I told you that I couldn't do that anymore. You might have seen some cryptic posts on my page now that says it is finished. I've done it four times, I think. But I haven't explained what it is finished means until now. It is finished for me is I'm turning the page of doing the type of vlog that most people do, where they tell you what they've learned and they want to give you some wisdom to hopefully make your lives better. Those are very worthy. Lord knows there's almost 300 of them in my past now. So trust me when I tell you there's probably not a whole lot of new things to say without me beginning to repeat myself. And I don't repeat myself. Anybody who knows me knows I will say something one time and I'm done with it. I don't like having to talk about the same thing over and over and over. So there was always going to be a shelf life to that kind of blog for me, which is another reason that I don't go out on the road to promote this, that, or the other, because you have to do these things again and again and again as if they're new revelations, and they're things that maybe you've been talking about for 2 years. There comes a point where you just can't talk about it anymore. And yes, if you make a cottage industry out of talking about those things, and now you got to feed the beasts and the team that you have supporting you, then yes, you probably would have to tell that story again and again and again. But I come to what I do maybe in the same way a minister preaches on Sunday morning. You want to get a new word. You almost need a new word because you have a congregation in front of you that is demanding a word for the now that we live in. So I'm no different. I cannot talk about what I've already talked about. I will point you to what I've already said and keep it moving. And I don't feel badly doing that. Yes, I get that I have new people that come into my life on a regular basis, and I should be able or willing to repeat myself. But even then, I'm not motivated to. Which brings me to the test. This test has had me stuck in a cycle since October 29th when I took the first one and passed the state exam and did not pass the national exam. And by missing that national exam by only 1 point, that was not as insulting or humiliating as you might think. I always understand that my life has a larger trajectory going on with it. There's something moving me forward all the time. And sometimes it takes dissension and discourse to get me on course. Now here's what happened. When I missed that question by when I missed that test by one correct answer, and then I would have been in this profession and never looked behind me. If I had passed both those tests in 29 days on October 29th, see, I'm a big numbers guy. I'm always paying attention to that. I would have had a totally different attitude going forward. I would have walked into a profession thinking how easy this is, because look how easy it was for me. I would have had a totally different understanding of why I was being chosen to do that. But I didn't pass. And it took me down a path and through a series of revelations about myself that I needed to learn, and I could not have learned them any other way. Trust me. I have been holding on to some things as I started to confess my anger to a friend of mine yesterday. since I was in the second grade. The second grade, I remember missing a spelling of a word that took me off the mountaintop, that dropped me from the very peak to just below it. But just below it wasn't good enough. And I railed against myself for months because I missed one vocabulary word. Well, here I was, dare I say, 55 years later, and I'm doing it all over again. Oh my goodness. What the heck is going on in my life that I have an inflated sense of myself and what I should be able to do in a moment's notice without any preparation, without all the things that everybody else has to do to get there. And I had a right to have the life that I thought I deserved come hell or high water. And then another lesson that was inside of all of that was throwing money at a problem. Having the ability to pay another $100 each time I needed to take the test made me a little callous to what it was really costing me to take the test. $600 for a lot of people is their month's rent. Is my month's rent, almost. But at the end of the day, instead of me pausing long enough to be absolutely certain that not that I should pass the test, that I deserve to pass the test, but that I was on the path that I was supposed to be on, was what the hubris was really all about. I made the assumption, because I had paid for the opportunity to take the test, that I had a right to pass it. But just because your money gets you entrance into a place or at a certain level doesn't mean you belong there. It just means that you found a way to get into the same room that some people work all their lives and believe with all their hearts, minds, and souls that they're supposed to be there, and you just bought your way into it. Yeah. Hubris. So this series of vlogs that I'm about to do, the It Is Finished series, It Is Finished 2019, hashtag. And I do that so you can find them quicker, because HGTV has a lot of stuff on there now, and you may not look for my name, or you may not know how I spell brother or whatever. You can always have reasons for not finding it. You may not even know there's a link on my page to go directly to all of my HGTV vlogs. So I'm just going to make it easier for people and announce what I'm doing, the series I'm doing, the Mindset Of series. So you can do hashtag the Mindset Of and find those. And now you can do the hashtag, what did I say it was going to be called? Hey, I'm about to turn 62, and trust me when I tell you, memory is a fickle thing. You got to be talking about something, and right in the middle of your sentence, you can totally forget what the heck you were talking about. But yes, It Is Finished 2019, hashtag. That's the one I want you to start paying attention to, because now it gets fun. Now you're going to get to know the real me. Now you're going to see how I process things and how I get from point A to point B. It's not a fast process sometimes. I would love to get to point A to point D, but I've learned not to skip B and C. So here's what I know now that I didn't know on December 31st. I know I am human, and I have issues and things that I have to release, let go of, get over, forgive, and move forward. And as much as I preached that, I was stuck. I was stuck in my past with an idea of the brilliant, smart, articulate young man I used to be. And I am to some degree still, but I don't have the passion and the interest that I once had. I'm not nearly as patient as I once was. So I'm finding it difficult to see where I fit in this world. I thought a part of that equation of why I couldn't find where I fit had to do with the fact that I wasn't in love with anyone, that I didn't have someone to share my life with. Because sometimes that pillow talk is where you learn what to do next. You talk a thing out and you wake up and you say, okay, this is where I am, this is what I'm going through. And then that partner helps you figure out what's next. I don't have that. So I thought that was missing. Right after I did that first vlog saying that that was what I was open to for this year, someone who was in my life revealed themselves to me. Now, that just means I know I have a kindred spirit in them, but we've never done anything, and I don't think we will. I think the distance between us is real, and I have to accept that. Just having like minds is not enough to have like intentions and like relationship. But it was nice to know I wasn't alone. Along those same lines, I've had someone in my life for a little while now that really, really loves me. I know that for a fact. But being young and inexperienced and just beginning their lives and their awakening, it would be wrong of me to, as I am, impose all that I am upon that young man, because he needs to learn his journey for himself. So although I know I am loved by him, I cannot make him the object of my full adult interest, if that makes sense. So I feel better on that subject, but I'm still alone, technically. But what I learned was I can't make it about someone else, the things that I'm supposed to learn about myself. I can't make it about someone else. I have to allow everyone in my life to get there. Wherever that nebulous there is, I have to allow them their own journey, their own path, their own speed to get there. And no matter how much I need them, and I make the case of needing them, it doesn't mean I get to have what I'm asking for. In the same way, I don't get to pass that test just because I need to pass it. Because what's on the other side of me passing that test? Well, here's what's on the other side of it. I have to start a new profession. I have to meet new people. I have to be in a new organization, and I have to learn how to be patient and understanding, and I have to develop my listening skills, and I have to do a lot of things that I don't kind of want to do. If I'm honest, I'm not all that interested in that. I am interested in this, interiors, homes, but as a seller of real estate, not that interested. I am interested in flipping houses and remodeling homes, and maybe I'll be able to do that as a project manager someplace or overseer on some level, but I don't have time for interior design school and a lot of other things that I should have done at an early age if that was going to be my choice profession. I have to figure out what I'm supposed to do with all of the gifts and attributes that I have. I suspect I'm never going to be 100% satisfied until I lay the groundwork for my own company, the spiritual consortium in the desert that I envision, that is somewhat of a halfway house, a recovery facility, a spiritual retreat, a place of respite to re-energize and re-engage lives. All of that is inside of me. I could do that day in and day out if that's what I had. But getting that thing established, putting it in a physical place, that's the journey I'm on. I thought I could use the real estate to become aware of what properties are out there. But I would still have to have made enough income to purchase those properties. So I would be looking and shopping while I was selling to others. So see, even my intention wasn't necessarily to give someone else a great experience. It was for me to still find what I was looking for. And I think I've been doing that all my life. I think every job I've had, every door I've forced open, every opportunity that I've been given, and some that I've walked away from, have all been about me looking for that nebulous place called Eden dust that I have to create, that would allow all of the people that I've met in my lifetime and that I love so dearly to show up and be in one place at the same time. Is that a ministry of some sort? I don't know. I don't want it to be that, but I wonder sometimes, I have to admit. Am I missing that part of my calling from the age of 16, when I did sit down in our den and tell my family that I was going to be a preacher, and then that was the end and the beginning of that statement. And every time that I've gone home in those years since, someone reminds me that that's what I told them at 16, and I'm not doing it. Could that be a reason I'm not jumping on the bandwagon to run home every 5 minutes? Because I'm being faced with my first major detour and I've not re-engaged that path? Lots of food for thought there. But here's what I just want to say. It is finished. I don't have any more wise words to say to you about what you should be doing with your path. I have to get selfish in 2019. The purge of 2019 and now this are all pointing to me finally getting on the right track and the right path of my own life, so that I can stand with authenticity and tell you exactly what happened and what I have done to correct it and the result of that correction. So I'm kind of putting things on hold until 2020, when I can honestly fulfill what I believe is my true calling. And then I can stand here and talk about that. But if I do vlog going forward, get ready for it to be vlogs that are very personal and sometimes not pretty, because I'm working through some things. And I just want to tell you that. Brother Eden Douglas, Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the desert, literally still and figuratively, certainly, enjoying the 2019 purge, and it is finished 2019. Here we go. Peace.